we're doing this, and I think until he's like buttoned up and like ready to roll, I feel like yeah. Like I'm considering like redoing like all of my core processes of how we work because like I believe in it. I think it could be a game changer, but it doesn't not every opportunity is like the right opportunity. I feel like there's no way to like filter that, you know. I think he needs a little bit. I gotta spend more time on it before I start because I think it could like um just
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back in full HD quality once again.
We took a couple weeks off. Actually, we didn't, but y'all don't know that because our last podcast got all screwed. But hey,
Yeah,
just know we
computer
tried
fun.
to do something for you.
Computer fun, computer fun. That's all you gotta know.
Yep.
Welcome back to the DJ Lay podcast. Tonight we have the man, the myth, the legend, the SCE king up in New Jersey, Jason Jani.
Right.
Welcome, welcome.
Now, you may have never heard of Jason Jani, but he's really made his way. Just kidding.
Brand new, brand new.
Dude, but what's up, man? So it's funny, like pre-show, we usually like talk and whatnot, and I was like, hold up. I don't even want to talk to you yet. I was like, we'll do all this once we're on live. I was like, I don't even want to know what's new yet. Yeah.
I know, right?
Dude.
It was a Joe Bun. Yeah.
It's landed.
Yeah.
It's landed a lot harder now. You know, we have however many subs, and
We had you on back when we first started all
that's
this.
what I'm saying.
So,
yeah,
which
but
was like year and a half plus ago.
I actually need to. Oh yeah, that was it. Was COVID. It was 2020 still. If not, it was early 2021 type of long ago. It's crazy to think like, okay, COVID 2020. It's been fucking almost 5 years. What the fuck? Like, how is that even possible? 5 years? I mean, we'll fall 4. Okay, we'll call it 4 full years. That is just. I just can't even. I don't know. Are you guys?
The fact that that went down still boggles my mind.
So
Really.
I have a lot of people that it's always like, oh well, like you can't compare that to, post COVID numbers. You have to hold it up to like 2018, 2019 normal year numbers and whatnot. So now, well, that's my point. So we weren't in business, but for 2 years at that point. We started in 2018, really. So I don't have these full years to hold it up next to, but our numbers, my question, so since COVID, we'll just say like our revenue, our total revenue has just consistently gone up still, and it's still going. It might have leveled off, but since 2020, just call it steady growth. Is that happening to a company like yours that was already a big ass company prior to COVID?
We've had like double-digit growth every year,
Two.
except for 1 year, and that was a COVID year, right? And
Okay.
I think where it could have landed and where we did land, it could have been a lot worse.
Oh.
I mean, it was painful and it definitely stung. And I remember being like, how am I going to get through this at points? And I don't know. I feel like when you do the right thing and you care about it and you're willing to work for it, like you can figure it all out. I mean, the COVID situation was like extreme because like it shut everything down. And then like we were doing these like bootleg parties like that were kind of like
right. We were like illegal all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's like so weird.
It's
like
like
people were
back
doing
to
it.
my roots, bitch.
I did a wedding and this girl had this crazy she had a crazy venue booked. I mean, it was probably going to be like a $300,000 or $400,000 wedding. And she ended up having it in her parents' backyard. And I'll never forget because she's like, I still want to do like the spark fountains and all this stuff. And I'm like, send me a picture of this tent you're putting in your backyard. Right. And she's like, you're going to be set up right there. And I'm like,
It's like under
the
an
back of
easy
me
up.
is an above ground pool. I'm like, it doesn't hit the same as like this beautiful venue
Right.
that you were gonna have. I'm like,
Well, good
save
on
the
you
money.
for telling
And
her that. Good on
I'm
you
so
for
glad I
telling her
didn't do
that.
it because I'm like, it rained that day and it was a mess. And it was like,
God.
it would have been just a cluster, even worse than it was. And she was like dancing in the mud in like a $20,000 gown. Like,
I've
like,
seen that shit on
whatever.
Instagram, because I follow all the DJs. So anytime it's a fucking downpour, I'm like looking at people's reels and shit, and it just like hurts my soul because I know how much money is spent on these weddings. Like that one you posted, Rick, and like it was like a flood. It was literally like a river under your feet. Like in the middle of the fucking wedding. It was nuts.
Yeah, it was literally right in the end of the ceremony. So it was like one of those houses they converted into a venue. So it's a historic house. They have an indoor space, but they normally throw a tent outside.
That's every venue in our state.
And it just so happened
by
that the way the ground is laid out, if it's a torrential downpour, we're talking like it's dropping like 3 inches in like 30 minutes, like stupid just downpour, and all the water's flowing right underneath the tent, right across the dance floor, like a nice thick half-inch of water just running right across the dance floor, right at my DJ booth. Conveniently, the casters and everything got everything up enough that it was fine. But
I literally have a picture I'm going to show you. This is a wedding I did like a couple weeks ago, and I was at a like a home, like a residence in Maryland, and I'm like in the middle of like we're doing this party, and I like look, and I'm like, it just looks like it's getting darker out, like quickly,
You're just like,
and I'm like, oh, this doesn't look good. So like here I am like playing, and I'm like, Rico's like my right hand man. I'm like, yo, dude, like look at the radar. Like, is it gonna freaking rain? And he's like, yeah, it's gonna rain. And I'm like, oh shit, it's gonna rain. And like, so we're like going through this party, right? And like, doesn't rain. We're in like the last hour, and it's like torrential downpour. Like you can't even like see like 3 feet. And all of a sudden, we were on a driveway that was like sloped, right? And this like family had like extreme wealth. And here I am, I'm standing, and I'm like, I just see this little stream heading right for my DJ booth, and it just started getting wider and wider, and it was like going like this. And I have a picture somewhere on my laptop here or on my computer here, and it's like me standing. Oh yeah, here it is. Me standing in the puddle didn't go anywhere except for exactly where I was standing. Like it was just like, let me fuck with Jani right now. And you could see all the electronics. We put like the plugs up high, and I'm standing, and it's literally,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, you're like $900 sneakers in this puddle of water, and I'm just like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna get electrocuted right now. What
That
is going on?
that is exactly my wedding.
Yeah.
That is exactly how it went down. The same thing. It's fucking hilarious. I actually, but
Crazy.
mine conveniently was like right after ceremony. And it was cocktail hour, so like I just put on a little cocktail mix and everything, and like it was funny because everybody was kind of huddling underneath the tent, and they're like, "Can you like play something like a little more jammy to cheer us up, like it's raining men or something?" So like I'm on the front of the booth, like leaning over because I'm not trying to be in the puddle, like searching real quick, and then I drop it in from the front of the booth.
That's funny. That's crazy. That's awesome.
The guys were like,
Good
"Damn,
job.
you must be a good DJ. You can scratch backwards."
You guys have outside venues, but it's not like majority. I
Yeah.
don't feel like up there it's like the leader. Down here, it is the leader.
No,
You-
California's the leader.
Oh, I'm
of
sure.
outdoor.
Of course.
I think you guys have like fair weather longer periods of time than
Yeah.
we do in Jersey. In Jersey, you get
Definitely.
all 4 seasons, right? So
Mhm.
winters are really cold, the summers are really hot, and then the spring and the fall are like,
Right.
you know,
Right.
like depending on the beginning, it's cold, on the end, it's warm. So it's like you have this like crossover point.
In North
And
Carolina,
sometimes
I would deem it as the closest to perfect weather that you can get. It's like
True.
dead center of the road across the board.
Yeah, you don't have the ridiculous humidity of Florida. You don't have the ridiculous cold of the north.
It's not ridiculously hot. It's just kind of normal.
It's hot, but it's not. It's
all
not
of
100
It's
plus.
all of that, but not like ridiculous.
Yeah,
for
like
sure.
it's in the 90s right now during the day. But
Yep. Are you going to Atlantic City for the expo? When is that? Is
you
that
know what? I've been
First
going
week of August, August 5th.
Yeah, I usually stop by for like a day. I used to go and spend the whole week there, but
Really?
now I just kind of like dip down for like a day. I kind of like walk the floor, just say hello to everybody I can see. I try to either speak on a panel or something, or at
Right.
least support whoever's there that day. And I usually like roll pretty quick in and out just because I feel like the timing is always like difficult for me up here.
Yeah. Well,
But
I
I
mean,
love going to the conferences. I love it, you know.
that conference, it's no secret that the education is not as much invested in as the others. It's no secret. It's fine. You go for other reasons, but that is typically what's keeping me at a conference. I would probably play it the same way if I didn't live across the country. Therefore, I'm going to stay the whole time.
Yeah,
no.
I mean, it's like an hour drive. I brought my son with me last time. 'Cause,
Right,
like,
right.
I just
Yeah, no, I ran
walk
into you.
around for a little
Yeah,
bit,
yeah.
Yeah.
Quick little.
And I just, we used to go out and like get crazy tables and cause mayhem and like retire everyone,
Right.
like put people to bed kind of thing.
I just
But
like to see all my internet friends. Like it's like all of
Yeah.
my friends that I'd never see ever, because in real life, I've got like Rick and his wife and like maybe like 3 other friends, like very smidgen because I'm busy. But when I'm out there, it's time to shine.
Sounds like my list of friends.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's like all the internet
You've been to my
people.
part.
Jani's my friend. I'm trying to see Jani when I fucking go,
Yeah, no, for sure. I
We have
got
a good
more
time.
friends. More friends are outside of this local area than actually here.
So, shit.
that's not a bad thing though. Not a bad
Nah.
thing. So I plan on going for a day. I mean, like we can kick it for
Right,
sure. I'll let you
right.
know.
I
when
haven't
we're
even
gonna go. I
decided
usually-
yet. It's like a very last minute decision every year for me, And obviously, since Dow Oak's up in Jersey a little bit now,
You should
I'm-
fly up
okay,
with me.
Sure. You're gonna fly.
Yeah, I'm flying this year.
All right. Well, I
Take
have,
the Dow Oak jet.
yeah, dude.
Just
Yeah,
up
yeah.
on up.
Yeah, I'm
That
sent.
both lighting jet. You get on that both lighting jet.
Hey, you got to get on that both lighting life,
I ain't-
man.
I
That
ain't-
shit is legit.
I ain't driving the damn. I'm not. I drove the damn trailer up there last year, and the first thing I thought about as soon as I got there, or as soon as I got back with the damn trailer, was I'm paying someone to drive that bitch this year. I'm flying. Fuck that.
Yeah, dude. It was the most miserable.
Oh yeah, you rode with me up
Yeah,
there.
Miserable as
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah. No.
So what's new with you that you can talk about?
Life is good, man. I think like, going back to what you first said, like this year for us is like a rebalance year. It's a positive thing though. Like, they say that the average time for like engagement and like that whole like lifespan of like relationship engagement to actual like having a wedding could be as long as 3 years. And they say that this is like that crest year from like the pandemic where like things didn't happen. So like people are feeling it now. Like we really haven't felt it. I mean, we have some people that are a little bit slower than normal, but we've been
It's
just focusing on pushing the bar a little bit in a little bit further, a little bit in different directions, trying to stay creative, trying to stay fresh, trying to like be the most efficient and effective way we can be at SCE and with events in general. And for me personally, I'm like, I don't know how many events I want to do anymore. I used to do a buckload of events all the time. Now I'm kind of like being a little bit more selective and I'm just kind of pulling back because I have prioritized like my own personal time a little bit more, which I can't even believe I'm saying out loud and on a
well,
podcast.
fuck.
But
If your kid keeps
it's something
winning all
I'm
these
doing.
wrestling competitions, you're not gonna be able to have time to DJ at all.
Yeah, I'm trying to be a good dad because
That's
I've
that's a
lost
good
a lot of
one.
time as
Yeah,
a DJ and as
yeah.
a business owner. I've sacrificed a lot with my daughter who's a little bit older and now Justin, I've always been very close to my son, but I always support him even before he got into wrestling, and now he's doing something that I love. And it's so weird to have like my youth, my childhood, my youth, my high school life kind of like repurposed in front of me with by way of my son, and like watching him go through it and not being a coach, just being like a good dad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I try to always lead with like care and with like the things that I think are a little bit I don't know. It's just a little different for me to say because I've never really talked about like my
That's
personal life. You know what
that's
I
Yeah.
mean?
that's
But
growth.
Yeah, yeah.
That's growth. And you were saying, like people are always like, "Oh, are you down this year? Are you up?" That's the easiest way to say that, like, or whatever. And
yeah,
I'm always like, "Well, that's such a loaded answer." Like, first, I've done roughly 30 new things I'm currently doing that I wasn't doing last year. So, like, yeah, the numbers are up because I'm spending more money. Like, of course they're up. I made them up. But if you're asking if I'm, you know, pulling as much money out of every dollar spent, that's a tough answer. That I actually probably the answer is no. I don't even, you know what I mean?
That's like asking, are you in profit mode or are you in growth mode?
Yeah, I
Like
don't know. I feel like I'm just growth mode no matter what though. If I'm not in growth mode, I don't even know.
Because
That's weird.
I don't even know what profit mode's like. I'm in hit. I'm in. Let's put the money into it. Let's push this bitch as hard as we can mode.
it's the only I think growth mode is like the mode most people, 98% of the people that work in the entertainment world or the events
Just
world or
live
the
in.
equipment world really need to be in order to do things that are bigger, right? Like because you're never going to move forward unless you sacrifice. And
It's also like a
I've always been like
fast-moving
someone that has done
industry.
that.
It's a fast-moving
Ni-
thing,
ni- niche industries move fast.
That's what I'm saying. If you
That's-
want to stay at the top or whatever you call it, like you've got to constantly grind. You know what I mean? You got to find that next biggest thing. You got to beat everyone to the next biggest thing every 6 months. It's not like
What your question though on like when people are like, "Are you up or down?" I like to always rephrase them and be like, "What's your focus? Like, what's the one focus of the year? Like, what's the like?" Jan, I mentioned like rebalancing is a good one. Like, if anybody asks me that, this year for me is all about people, and then I can elaborate on what that is in terms of like bringing on more people because we need more people.
you're the king of hiring people. You know me. I'm like I never want to hire anyone
Yeah,
ever.
I'm still amazed at where you're at with as little people as you are.
Me too. Me too. But yeah, whatever.
When you have the right tools, the right systems in place, I think things work
For sure.
that can help that a little bit, right? But
Right.
I don't know. I've always been a supporter of like bringing people on, leveraging, like resources, right, to try to do bigger.
It's a
things.
tough pill for me to swallow, but obviously is correct. I am wrong to never hire people. I confidently
Yeah.
believe that is incorrect.
You say I'm the king of hiring like people, but it's also because of how many avenues I have my foot in right now. I need to have.
For sure.
It's not one avenue. If I had one avenue, I'd have literally a third of the people I have right now.
Rick's got his hand out all over.
Yeah. If we ain't trying to
I
grow
love it.
something, we're losing right now. I mean, literally, I'm trying to back out of stopping growing.
Yeah. I was explaining. So my buddy Ethan, who just started working with me and whatnot, and he's brand new. I hired a dude full time, just completely out of nowhere. He doesn't know shit about this world, and he just hangs out with me all day, every day right now, and I'm just showing him. And Rick was really like caught him off guard. He was like, wait, what does he do? I was like, well, he has like a Christmas light business, and it's also a home improvement business, and then he does these China
Wait,
lights.
I caught him off guard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just like your thing.
Yeah.
It was like he was very like, wait, what? Like he has an office? That was the first wow. And then I was like, well, he has to have it due to
Inventory.
just shit.
Just sheer shit.
He's only seen my stuff, and I literally have a computer in my basement, and that's how the whole thing operates. I don't do anything beyond.
Yeah.
So it's like so weird for him to see. I'll call it a real company. Not to hate on my own, but I don't know how to put that into words the right way. But that's what I'm kind of getting at.
You've just been able to leverage your company to the point where it doesn't need warehousing. You don't have stuff that needs space.
Sure, and cool, but I'm just saying he was just very wowed by your shit. You know, I'm sure he would be very wowed by Jason's shit too, but you're now down the street.
I mean, I wish I didn't have the goddamn facility that hits the books every single month. That would be wonderful.
I bet.
And the utility bills and office expenses.
You don't use any of the both lighting stuff, do you?
You got the uplights.
I don't think I've gotten. I know some of the guys have a bunch of the stuff.
Right.
I don't think I've ever even touched them, other than the event that we did together.
I'm surprised you haven't caught the bug. This isn't. I don't make
Don't you
$1.
have
I don't have an affiliate link.
Aren't
so
your
host,
uplights
everyone
like
chill.
the kitten ones or whatever? Don't you have
Yes.
which
Yeah.
are basically the same damn shit?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have like the bar. I have a couple different ones, but I have like the bar, like the, like they're
Yeah.
I don't even know.
I wasn't
rectangle
sure if
bars,
you were
and I
like
have-
a loyalist to like whoever it was, Ape Labs or
No,
Chauvet.
no,
or
I
anything.
have some Astera stuff. I have, I kind of just use whatever like makes the most sense. Like uplights have gotten to the point where, to me, like I used to use color kinetic stuff like way back in the day, and like they were so expensive. Then I got knockoff color kinetic stuff, and I was like, well, these work just as good. Like they're actually from the same factory. Like there's no difference, And then I started going through like the import stuff, and I was going right through like all the different connections and resources. And I don't know, when you're talking about lights that are sub $100, right, and you're getting like something that's pretty decent or very close to $100, like, and they're
just
built fairly well. It's like they're like plug and play. Like
Right.
If something happens, it's just like toss it. Like I was very impressed with the both lights that I did see before. Like I don't even know if both was really even a full on thing at that point.
Right. It was it was the lights, but it wasn't both lights yet. They hadn't like branded it.
Like because they were doing all the Facebook shit. Like it was literally just people DMing you like on Facebook, and then through the last 2 years, as I talked to them, we've taken their brand and pretty much doubled, if not more, the whole entire business at this point.
Wow.
As it sits right now, both lighting, we make up about 75% of their sales.
Yeah.
Just our team makes up about 75% of all the sales that come through their business.
It's amazing.
Which I am impressed with their team that they've been able to keep up with how much we're throwing down their throat. And they, for the most part, we're getting lights to everybody at a reasonable time. So it's crazy.
It's awesome.
It's weirdly legit, I will say.
It's
it is.
That's
weird. It's weirdly high quality.
I think we've talked about this before. The weirdest thing about my business is the guys or the girls and guys over in China at Both Lighting. I have never talked to them on the phone, on a Zoom call. It's all been through WhatsApp, text message, and email.
But at the same time, man,
That's
they
literally
say
the
with
whole
risk-
business.
With risk comes reward, and no one was willing to do that, and you took the chance. Therefore, you're the one cashing the check now. I mean, it makes sense, honestly.
I mean, it's weird. We're at the point we're wiring 6 figures on a monthly basis. It's like
That's great. That's super cool.
it's scary, some of the stuff we're doing with them. That's like, just never talk to you in person. We talk about that all the time. We're like, because we're ordering in bulk. So like we're bringing product to the United States and then distributing it from our warehouse so people get it quicker and all that instead of drop shipping from the factory. And it's like we're just like, What if they don't ship us the shipment? Like, what if like the shit hits the
What if
fan
the
in
container
China?
falls off the boat, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, and then like
what goes on?
all the geopolitics stuff going on now. It's like, what happens if like China invades Taiwan or whatever?
That's
Like,
the type of
will
shit
we
I
get our
can't even-
lights? Like, will our whole business crumble?
God, man, that.
I feel like if that happens, there's a lot more that's going to crumble.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I mean? Like, I don't know if you're, I mean, like, you might be like, oh, shit. Okay, well, we're good. You know what I mean? Like,
Right. I used to dabble in some. You can call it drop shipping. And one day, an error happened, and I'm still talking about it.
Are you?
Just
I've never
know
heard
that.
about this.
That's a
I'm
thing.
gonna need the story.
A lot of money lost that night. Still dealing with it. That was 15 years ago, 12 years ago.
I'm gonna need the
Whatever.
story.
So I mean,
Back to Jani.
back to Jani. The last fucking update I even remember that I was like, yes, is when you hired Kevin. How's he?
Yeah.
How's he doing? I mean, I talked to Kevin,
doing-
but how do you think he's doing?
I think Kevin's doing really well. You know, like he came over, you know, changed his life around a little bit, came over, and you know, I feel like with anybody and anything, there's always like a little bit of a curve, whether you know, some of the curves move faster than others, but with Kevin, like it was a kind of a slow start bringing him in. But I think right now he's doing really well. I think like he's brought something fresh to our portfolio, and I think that's like a piece of advice I would give any like business owner or someone that's like trying to push the envelope and do more things is like try to bring in diverse options, right? Because you don't want all of the same. You want I've always believed with SCE, we have like this group of like 14 or 15 guys, and everyone has a superpower of some kind, right? Everyone brings something to the table that's fresh, that's different, that makes them unique in their own way. There is overlap in different respects with different people, but like everyone has like something that makes them, right? And I've never been someone that's like, oh, it has to be done this way. Like there's certain things that have to be done within like a company structure, but like
right, but
I want
with your
everyone to
spin.
like own their stuff,
Yeah.
right? Like I want like their personality to shine out. And Kevin's like very good with it. I mean, he's been definitely producing a ton of content on YouTube. He's been doing a lot of work
Yeah,
in the
he is.
background. He's really trying to work hard at creating momentum and just causing a buzz. I think that comes from just like our culture at SCE. I mean, look what happened with Nick just alone, you know, like he has gone into a whole nother stratosphere in terms of like opportunity from just creating content, you know, and everyone has hit in different ways. So Kevin is doing awesome. He's crushing. I think we booked him 2 events today, even just like during the day today. which
He's
is
just the
crazy,
most
but-
personable person ever, too. Like literally, I may
Down
have
to
only actually hung out with Kevin 3 times ever, but like I can talk to Kevin like through and through. You know what I mean? Like he's just so easy to get along with.
Kevin's one of the first people I hit up when I go to a DJ convention.
Of course, that's right, exactly.
Or anything. I'm like,
my
yo,
point.
Kevin, what you doing?
Yeah, it's just easy, you know.
Yeah,
so
he's a good
right.
dude.
And
He's
Nick,
happy.
Nick is
He's happy all
similar.
the time.
Nick is similar. I was that Ethan guy that you know doesn't know shit. I was actually trying to explain Nick Spinelli. I was
Oh,
like,
I got a story on Nick.
I was just like, well, you know, he's like an influencer, but he's like. I was telling him when we walked into that bar after your wedding, and that the DJ that saw him was just like, God, like you. I mean, it was like a famous person to him. You know what I mean? And it was. I watched the whole thing happen. It was cool as fuck, you know. And he, took a picture with him and whatnot. It was super cool.
So this has happened to me twice now, but because, like you mentioned, Nick's in a whole new stratosphere, like a whole, like, another level of influence when it comes to DJs. I have been recognized twice now, and they come up to me and say, I saw you in Nick's video. So it's been throwing me off guard because I get recognized once in like a moon here and there. It's like, oh, and it's normally a DJ that recognizes me. But I'm having like normal people come up to me and they're like, yo, are you that DJ guy that like Nick did your wedding? Like, because Nick posted the whole vlog of it. I was literally in my haircut and I was walking back to my truck and this dude like literally stopped me like, and he's like, yo, we're getting married or whatnot. And I like follow Nick Spinelli and I saw your stuff. And like was just asking.
You got to keep in mind, it's like the crew we were with is literally like Rick, Bar, J Book. It's like the YouTube
This is in Greensboro.
dudes. I know. Right.
Yeah.
No, like when I got recognized, I was in Greensboro.
Oh.
Here, like I was getting my hair cut in Greensboro, North Carolina, and I got guys coming up to me when I'm already a DJ in this area, and they're saying, "I know you from Nick Spinelli's video,"
Oh, well, that's
which
fuck.
is hilarious.
That's crazy. I mean, the
That is
power of social
crazy.
media, right? Like Nick deserves all of the positive, right? Like he's worked so hard
I need
at
to
it
make. I
and
need to make a.
consistently, like
Yeah. Yeah.
I need to
he's
find the
done that,
clip.
you
It's
know.
2019 DJ X, and it's like me, Bar, and Nick sitting down at a table in the Harris or whatever, and he's talking about launching his YouTube channel and like how he's scared and doesn't think it's gonna grow or whatnot. Me and Bar are like, dude, shut the fuck up. You're gonna like crush it. You're gonna blow up.
It's awesome.
How's your
It's awesome.
How's your YouTube going? I remember when you
It's
started
going.
it, basically.
He's still crushing
Yeah,
the content.
I did it like as a I did it as like I needed it something to deflect from the phone calls that I was taking like all day long and the emails. And you know, it's definitely quite humbling, the YouTube platform, you know, growth thing, because it's like watching a turtle run down the street. You know, it's
It
like
is.
for me it's been like very slow, very whatever. I love doing it. You know, like I'm trying to diversify the content a little bit. I was pumping out stuff 3, 4, 5 times a week. Now I'm doing things like 2 times a week, maybe 3 times a week, maybe once a week, right? Like trying to like blow it out, like slow, a little bit slower, a little bit more thought out. And I'm sharing things that come from like real situations. So like it doesn't connect to everyone because not everyone owns a business. Not everyone wants to own a business. Not everyone cares to, you know, they don't want to do weddings. And like that's the space that I play on. But I try to share a lot of like real deal, like things either I've learned from performance or business that I think could help someone. It was either a painful lesson or something that I was like, oh shit, this would make a great video. Or this is something I had to tell someone on my team. Let me share it publicly because these are
Yeah.
like lessons that other people could maybe benefit from. And I've done it like without monetizing it, which is kind of crazy too. You know what I mean?
Right.
But
Yeah.
I enjoy helping people, and I get a lot of nice messages from people that like literally have, you know, been able to improve the way they're doing things. So like that's always been like you talk about like how well are you doing? Like I love like I look at purpose and I look at fulfillment a little bit differently these days than maybe 10 years ago, right? So like 10 years ago I was like there's a Tuesday open, like can I work on a Tuesday? Like let me put more time in, you know, like I was all about being everywhere. Now I'm trying to be a little bit more selective on where I spend my time, and I want to make sure I have balance all the way through. But I look at things that make me feel good when I'm done with it, and I look at things that like bring me more of like fulfillment, right? And like where I want to go, where do I want to take this? And the answer is I don't really know, but you know, not to go too far off on this, but like I love doing the YouTube stuff because I feel like when it does connect with someone, like someone can learn a lesson that can save them thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars. You know what I mean? Or like this one little thing that's like, why didn't I think of that? You know, or how the fuck did I miss this? Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And
Right.
You're
you know, it's crazy.
Honestly, all the business, like mobile DJ business relevant videos, the ones, you know, you are putting out, the ones he's putting out, Joe Blunt, whoever the fuck is doing it, they're the first of their kind. This didn't exist before. You couldn't look up how to start a mobile DJ company on the internet and it actually tell you, you know.
No, it's like a whole new search term classification area that like it's not really trending yet, but like there's little to no content in that realm. And that's why it doesn't really like, you know, pop off or blow off and everything. But what you said in terms of, and you and me have talked about it, the business stuff doesn't really pop off. But for those 200 people that really sit down, watch it, and take it to heart, those are the people that are messaging you back on like, yo, you changed my business. You've changed every aspect. I'm like changed what I've done. I've grown my business 200,000%. And like what you said, it provides meaning for what you're doing behind the videos. And it's helping a lot of
I
people.
always feel like content creation as a whole is like it's just an interesting thing. And I think, you know, like just being in the constant cycle of thinking of creating content and recording content and speaking and editing. I feel like those skill sets are they're so versatile. Like you can put them in so many different, like it's like a new superpower that I have. Right. And I've always been sensitive to it, right? Or I've always been dialed in, but like I look at stuff now, I'm like, oh, I could do this, I could do this, I could do
Yeah.
this. Like, who knows? Like maybe one day I'll do that. Like,
Yeah.
like there's so many different paths that open up, and I don't know, I've kind of like learned as I've gone. So it's definitely been like the hardest platform I've ever had to grow. I definitely feel like it's a little bit slower than I would like it to have grown, or even to this point, like, things take off that I'm like, this is not going to do well. And like, those are the videos that get
Yeah.
crushed. And then the
Uh-huh.
videos that I'm like, this is going to freaking stomp. This is going to like, and then like, there's like 500 views on it. I'm like, what the, like, how are you not looking at this?
Yep.
Like it's crazy, but like, there's no rhyme or reason.
Nope.
I believe that, consistency wins like all the time. So
Absolutely.
just kind of keep it moving, and we'll see where it lands when it lands there. And
Yep.
maybe one day I'll get tired of it and I won't do it. But like right now, I feel
How many
like
subs are you at? How many subs do you have?
I don't
10,000,
even know.
I think, roughly.
I don't.
It doesn't. It's not that serious.
I got you. I'm looking it up. But
I'm like, look, where am I at? I don't know. I
Right.
think I'm 18. So I'm at 18 now,
18K.
which is
let's
okay.
go.
Yeah.
I feel like I looked.
That's
and it was
growing,
about
man.
10, so that's
That's growing.
definitely growth.
You've passed the hurdle. The hurdle is 10K. After 10K, I mean,
Yeah,
I'm still on that 100K grind, and it's like our niche market is really, really, really hard to push out of that into the 100K mark, unless you're like
You look at like
Carlos
the
and
people that
Tina.
are doing it. Yeah, he's the only one, and Nick is doing really well. But like, there's a lot of like crossfade and digital DJ tips. Like those are more of like academies, right? Like
Yep.
there's more to it than just like
Carlos is the only
but
like
Carlos
individual one
Yeah.
entity person that's doing it.
Who
And
is that? What's
Carlos Santino.
his- I don't even know.
You can look him up.
I think he has the most out of
He
anyone. He's
does.
got, like,
He's
I
500
actually
he's
don't
killing
get
it,
on
you know?
YouTube for whatever reason. YouTube is like just not, I don't compute with YouTube. I've never. I mean, yes, I've looked up a YouTube video, but you can count how many type of thing. I just can't bring
Yeah.
myself to get on
How
YouTube.
many-
TikTok also don't have TikTok. I know I'm
When
like
did
way
you-
behind, but I just can't. I don't.
Jani,
care.
when did you start like posting consistently on YouTube for the purpose of like your videos and stuff? Was that like what 2 years
The
ago?
new like the current channel, yeah, I did it like I think it was October of 20 or October of 21. So um
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever. Let me see if I can figure it out. October of one of them. It was during the pandemic, so it's got to
Okay,
be like
okay.
20, I think. Right? Like, because I was going crazy, so
Dude,
I was just
to-
like, it's like 3 or 4 years. I don't know, somewhere
Yeah.
around there.
Yeah, it took me, I think, 4 years to hit 10K. But that was back when me and Bar were creating the whole new category of gig log, and no one ever even knew what gig logs were at the time. But-
Yeah, I mean, I wish I never stopped like from the old days of
Mhm.
like releasing content, because I used to do them all the time,
Yeah.
and I stopped doing it because I didn't get any. It wasn't like fulfilling for me. Like it was just
Mhm.
like I'm wasting my energy, I'm wasting my time, and then I wish I kept my kind of like feet on the gas, because that who knows where I'd be now. Like I look at the old SCE videos that were 2008, 2009, that like literally changed my life, but like I was connecting to people that were planning events, not to
Yeah.
DJs. And I wanted to talk to DJs. I didn't want to talk to just couples. Like that was the easy part, and it's crazy. Now I wish I could go back and be like, all right, well, let's do this all over again, but I kind of like put it to the side, and I didn't really care. I was like, oh, whatever, and I wish I could refine some of the stuff from going way back when, but it's all good stuff, man. It's
It
been
is.
like 3 years on that platform, and it's humbling. I talk about that with Joe a lot. Joe Bunn, he's like,
Oh yeah, I
we'll
do
talk
too.
about it. Like, man, it's like just like, and he's like, dude, this sucks. I'm like, no, well,
Joe-
like yes, but no, like like
Joe be messaging me like all the time, like, why the fuck is my YouTube not growing, Rick? And I'm like, Joe, you've only been doing it for like 3 years. I'm 9 years in, dog.
So the DJ
Hell yeah.
Collective. Question in the chat.
Yeah.
John Roach, are you doing any large format DJCs in 2025? I feel like I know the answer, but it can segue into what I'm trying to ask.
yeah. So we have an event in February of 2025. We're doing 50 seats in Scottsdale, Arizona. That's the next one that we have on the on the docket, so to speak.
Mhm.
I'm not sure where we're going to go after that, but that's the next one that we're working on currently,
Uh-huh.
and we're just starting to talk about it publicly now. So
Okay.
that just recently came out. Like, I think last week they started sharing some stuff. I haven't. I think I just reshared one of Joe's posts or something like that at this point.
Uh-huh. What about so now you guys started your mentor program from the DJ Collective. How's that going? Honestly, like so outsiders perspective cuz I'm not in your class, you know, I'm not in the class,
Yeah.
but I saw it. My first thought I was just like, man, that's going to be fucking expensive.
Expensive.
That's my first thought.
No.
Well, saw your price and I was like, wow. I could not I honestly couldn't believe it. I was like,
No, you forwarded it to me and you're like, can you believe how cheap this is?
it's
And I'm
noteworthy. And cheap is a terrible word to use. How
like,
about
affordable,
How about
a steal.
a steal? That's a
Value
good, that's a,
rich.
You know what I'm
Value
saying?
rich.
I was
There we
like,
go.
what the fuck? This is cheap as fuck. So, tell me about all that shit.
Well, to be honest with you, there's a couple like drivers behind it. I think first and foremost, like the number one piece of feedback that we've received was like, and this is like on a 3-year kind of like run of like doing bigger shows. It was just like, we want more access to the three of you guys, right? So that was like, okay, like cool. So we experimented with a small show format, and I think like the takeaway from that was like, hey, we had 25 people in a room and we went through like individual issues with everyone. Like everyone got to basically like help sculpt the program. And and like the takeaway from that was like, we can do this in a different, like on a virtual level with people weekly, and we could really like, I think, push the needle with certain people. And I think it was very affordable. We got, I mean, we have like a lot of people that come on. We have a number of, I don't even know what our numbers, like 100 people or 90 people. I don't know. We have a lot. I mean,
That's a lot for
it
a
could be
Zoom
better.
class.
Yeah, it could be worse, but we like try to like do stuff that like touches a lot of different topic areas. And one of the main drivers for me was to really get my hand on the pulse of like what people are like looking for and searching for, and how can I be better at like communicating to our community? Because like I look at things very different than I think a lot of other DJs, because like SCE is almost 15 years old. Like we've been a 7-figure business for almost all of that time, right? Like people don't look at things at that volume because it sometimes and I'm saying this not as like a boss card. I'm saying
I
it as like,
understand. I understand.
like
It's just
like
it's
it's not
different.
everywhere, right? It's different. And I feel like we work so hard at this, right? So like I need to like get back into like, hey, if I could go back and start my business again, how could I help someone? And like, what are some of the things that like they need help with? And like I think Joe, Brian, and I all have different views on education. I think, but the one thing is like we all want to help people, right? Like that's like one similarity. We have very different, Joe's Joe, Brian's Brian, and I'm me, and I could be the wild card sometimes. Joe's the wild card sometimes. Brian's the wild card
Yeah,
sometimes.
but all
And
y'all
each
are
one of us
different.
are very different.
All y'all are
Yeah,
very
One of the-
different and very smart in your own not comparable ways. Like straight up.
So talking to a few,
It's just like different. Yeah, go ahead.
I was about to say, talking to a few guys that have done you guys' recharges and everything, what you guys are doing with the whole program on the video side is like kind of what they talked about is like one of the best parts about the recharge, where you three get into it bickering on a topic because you all three have right viewpoints, but all different ways of cutting the cookie. Like you have the kind of the high luxury brand mindset. Joe has the more scalable, crazy multi-up. Brian's this traveling destination DJ. So you all have three different opinions and concepts on pretty much everything. And it's crazy that you guys are friends to some degree. But
It's actually hysterical because like let's just say Brian and Joe go. They'll be like, here's where we like, this is okay. Like, I'm just like this and we agree. And we're like kind of the same thing. Just to echo what he just said, it's just like, I look at it like this. And then it's like, and Jason, I'm like, well, I hate to be the bear. I hate to be the tornado that just like came into the conversation, but I think this sucks. I think this is terrible. And I would never do that. And here's the reasons why. So it's just like, you know what I mean? And then we're like, okay, fine, fair, good point. Next question. You know what I mean? Like it's so funny, you know.
But y'all's, you know, the way y'all are different. I hate to even sound stupid to say, but like a band, you know, like the fucking Beatles, like they all had their shit, and it was them in a group that provided what they provided. Homeboy by himself, I'm good. Homeboy by himself, I'm good. But the group, and not hating on each individual, you know, but that's how it is. And honestly, all of y'all are the type of people that, like, at least in the DJ world, like when you're around y'all, it's like, fuck, I'm actually lucky to be in like their friend. You know what I mean? It's like, fuck, these dudes are so above.
Nice. That's very nice.
You know what I'm saying? It's true though. It really is true. And I guarantee you, everyone thinks that shit. And if they don't, they probably don't understand. They probably just don't get something. You know what I mean? And that's just how it is.
Yeah, it is. It's very humbling to know the contacts I have in my phone.
Oh, dude, for
and
sure.
Who I've met along the way, and how
I'll fucking name drop one of y'all motherfuckers so fast trying to be cool. God damn, I'll do it. I don't give a shit.
No, it's I mean, it's very kind.
I work for that cell number.
Yeah, no, bro. Like I mean, you helped me a ton. I mean, even Rick, like we did that wedding for Donnie down your way. Like you came through heavy. We had a great
Donnie's
night.
in
like,
the chat. Donnie's
he was in the chat.
Oh, what's up?
Yeah.
What's up, Donnie? Like we had a great time. It was a wild wedding. You know, like it was a lot of fun. And you know, like honestly, I feel like I wish there was more of that in our world, right? Like I had RJ, my film guy, record like a whole opening set, and I was sitting on it. I was like, it was just like an okay wedding. I'm like, I mean, it was a good wedding. It ended up being freaking crazy, but the first set was just kind of like, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to post this. I don't have anything like this on the channel. Let me see how it does. And this like dude got on here and started like chopping away, like, oh, you lost half the dance floor by that. You lost it by the end. You lost like most of the dance floor. And I'm like, bro, like, you don't understand like how things work in our area. Like, and I'm like trying to like just, and then I'm like, what am I doing? Like,
right.
why am I
why
like,
even bother?
Like, don't give them the day of time.
Like I'm like, I usually like if someone throws like shady shit on my channel, I just fucking ban them. Like I'm like, fuck off, bro. Like you don't need to be here. Like I don't care. Like you're not doing anything for me, and you're not going to change my life for the better or for the worse. Other than like now I'm like looking at something and I'm getting mad, which is actually like I don't want to say mad. I would say like maybe I get a little like take things personal sometimes, but I'm like, why am I gonna let someone like impact me? Like why? You know what I mean? Like
so
you weren't there, you have no idea.
Man,
you know what I mean?
I gotta become an influencer so I can troll motherfuckers.
Exactly what I was about to get into. So I talked to so many of like Nick, few others that just have got to that point where you, and like one of the biggest hurdles you get around that 10 to 20K mark is how you deal with haters. And like I you know, everybody's got to get through it. My point at this point is I just tell them they're right. And it's a double whammy because they keep coming back because they're angry that I'm agreeing with them. I actually, so I was actually listening to your set earlier when I was doing work. I saw you post. I was like, let me put this in the background and listen. I was like, oh, cool. But I was like, where are the troll comments? That's like always my favorite thing on like Joe's video, your video. Like, who's trolling in the comments so I can just get a good little laugh out of this as to whatnot. But I actually came across the guy and I saw you're basically going back and forth on it and everything. I would have totally went in there and be like, dude, you're totally right. I will just quit as a DJ. And they get like so offended that you like are not upset and they just keep back wanting more. I got like me and Bar talk about it. We have like these two different guys that are like real pro DJs, like their account and a few others, but they'll always like pop their head in at like a big video and just talk dog trash. And it's hilarious at the point now where like there's people under us that are followers of us that literally will just go to war for us. And they just start arguing in the comments. And I'm like, yo, guys, just chill the fuck out.
Absolutely.
I've had that before where like people are like, yo, nice try to go do this. Like, let me see you do this, you know? And I'm like, whoa, comment king. You know what I mean? Like,
they'll be like,
whoa, like
they'll just go to war and be like, where's your video of your set that proves that you actually know how to DJ? I don't see you posting shit. Like, and it's just like, yo, guys, chill. Dude's just a hater.
Mr. Ghostface Fly 68243211111. Like, you know,
one time there was a DJ and it was on Facebook and it was one of the, it was probably idea sharing, as everyone knows. I don't really remember, but he like tagged Jason Jani, right? He tagged Jani and he was like, DJ battle kind of thing. He's like, if
Oh,
you're
yeah, I remember this
if
guy,
everyone's hyping this dude up, but I can blah blah blah, whatever who the fuck, and I think Demand was on everyone's in the thread. Just
Yeah.
like fucking, of course. I don't even need to tell you what they were saying. You know what they were all saying.
I think I got it when
You
there was
did?
like
You got
800
on there?
comments on
Okay.
this. Right. No, I never.
Oh,
I was like, wait.
I brought it up
I
on
was-
this podcast. I was
Yeah.
like,
Someone sent it to me. Demand was, I think it was Demand. He was like, "Yo, do you know who this person is?" And I was
course
like,
you don't.
"No."
That's why-
And he's like, "He's just challenged you to a DJ battle." I'm like, and he's like, people are like fighting about it, and I'm like, what? And he's like, it's on Facebook, and I'm like, I don't use like I have a
Right.
profile. I push stuff to
Yep,
Facebook.
yep.
I don't go on Facebook. Like I don't fucking care about
We're in
Facebook.
I know.
We're in the same boat.
The troll-
I have the same shit. People, if something blows out on Facebook about something I said, something I did, I'm like the last to know, because people will like DM me, be like, "Did you know what this guy's commenting about you on Facebook?" I'm like, no. Do I care? No.
Yeah.
yeah.
I read a couple of the comments. I
it
was
was just
laughing. I
fucking-
was like, this dude's like
I know.
showed. You know, I'm
I
what
like don't
is
even
going on. You know.
Of my like troll snapback. It was just like, bro, like first off, Jani's not even gonna say shit because he's too fucking nice. But let me go ahead and answer for him. Fuck you. Like, you are not. Who are you? You're just no one. And also, let's say in the perfect world, Jani fucking sucks at DJing. Okay, and you're the fucking shit. Whatever. Like you could beat the shit out of him via DJ battle. No one still cares. You're still nothing. What do you want me to say?
I'll give him the
here?
trophy. I got his trophy. I got the trophy right here. He can have this trophy, or maybe he can have a green one if he wants.
But
this
it's just
color.
like-
I'll give him both trophies.
If you
know,
if you think everyone's fucking praising Jani's name because he's not that you're
god
a
of a
bad
DJ.
DJ, but because specifically because of your mixing ability, you're sadly confused on the grind. Whatever it is, you don't know fucking shit, and don't post some bullshit like this because everyone will hate you. Small world,
Yeah.
right here.
You know what? Like my parents raised me in a way where like, it's like that old school thing. If you don't have something nice to say, don't say anything, right? Like keep your mouth shut, like move on, like focus on positive, don't look back. And like, over time, there's been a lot of people that have had things to say, and like most of them are no longer in business, like
What do you
anyone that,
what do you expect?
like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've always tried to do the right thing by people. I've always tried to help people. I've always tried to push people up. I've always tried to like use whatever influence I have to help like inspire people to dream bigger, to think bigger, to not settle, to like, just to do the right thing. I wish there was more people doing that in our space, and then maybe pricing would grow for people. And
Right.
maybe, like, yeah, I've always been colorful. Yeah, I've cursed. Maybe I've said the wrong thing on stage at conference, not meaning to be
Right.
abrasive to someone,
Of
but
course.
it's just who I am. It's like how it is. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Right.
it's you can't please everyone all the time. And for a long time, I did try to please a lot of people, and then, like in our world, there's a lot of like thankless jobs. You know what I mean? Like you can give, and then if you need something, and no one's there, like it is what it is. So, there was a time where I created so much content, and then I like just stopped because I was just like, I'm done with this. Like I was speaking all over the place. I was doing all these things, and I'm like, what am I doing this for? Like all these dudes are coming at me, like trying to take my business using my methods, my this, my that. And I was like, this is not what I want to do. I don't want to like foster my competition,
Right.
and
Especially,
and
yeah.
not that
yeah.
it was just like aggressive, and I was like, I'm good on this. But hey, look, I look at this, like I believe in karma. I believe you do what you can. You do what you can when you can. I feel like your actions speak
Volume.
your truth, right?
Yeah.
Your actions help define your purpose, your path, like what your intentions are. It's not just what people say. It's like what you actually do with your time, right? Like I can tell you, like I've done a lot, and I've taken zero, or I've lost money, just trying to like help. And it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like I don't ask for anything for it. I just whatever. If I could change things around if I needed to. I'm in a very interesting place in my life where like I'm good. I've worked really hard. I earn a ton of money when I work. Like I have a business that's very successful. And I'm not saying that as like a like in someone's face way. I'm saying it as like we the team, the collective, we're like 100 people at SCE, like it's not like just like a handful of us. There's an army of people and everyone cares about the brand. So like we've earned that, and
Right.
it can go away just as even faster than it was built. You know what I mean? And we all, I think, understand that as well. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. I try to treat people right, try to do the right thing, and my actions are what they are. I don't know. If someone's coming at me, then they obviously don't know me. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
Mm-hmm.
that's
Right.
it.
That's
Yeah.
very accurate. That's the same. Yeah.
I was
I
gonna
It's
say,
mean,
it's
same
internet.
deal with me. I will say same deal with me.
It's just internet trolls. People
Right. Right.
people just want to hate because they hate. Let's quote the, I can't remember what the fuck movie it is, but they hate us because they ain't us.
Yeah. Yep. The,
yeah.
They hate us because they
What's
ain't
that?
us.
50? Yeah.
the interpreter? No.
Uh,
Seth Rogen.
the
movie.
interview.
In the interview.
The
That's
interview,
it.
yeah.
That's
They
right.
hate us because they ain't us.
What about
Internet.
with you guys? What's going on in the North Kakalaka? Like, what's new? What's emerging there? Where's like, where do you see things going? What's the word? What's the buzz? Let me flip it on you guys for a minute, real
Um,
quick.
we're
Eric's
implementing.
like, I don't fucking, I'm not fucking, I'm fucking.
It's
So we're in the process of adding DJ Fusion to our
Oh,
repertoire.
Oh,
nice.
I
So
forgot. I actually agreed to be a drummer for his
Yeah, yeah.
company's DJ Fusion shit because
how crazy
I
is
don't
this
wanna,
shit gonna be?
I don't want to add it, and I still want to be a
We're
part
gonna have
of.
we're gonna have the owner of Dow Oaks coming to Fusion Sound and Lighting events to be the drummer.
I think it sounds
That's
sick.
pretty
I
So-
think I think it
That's
sounds
awesome.
So
fun.
we're doing a video shoot next week, and we got a drummer, saxophone, trumpet, and a couple other instrument. We're working with Pilo, and he's basically already doing the kind of the DJ band sort of thing. So he's got all the musicians lined up and everything. So we're gonna leverage him to basically get us the contracts, because we're running into currently right now with our price points and everything. We're like, people are like, we really want a band, but like we see the value in a DJ, but like the delta of doing both together is just a little too much money. So we're like, well, duh, we need to just add DJ Fusion so we win every contract, because we're gonna be the best of both worlds. Because we literally don't, like, no offense to Eric, but like where we're at price wise, we're not in the realm of competing with other DJs right now. We're just not.
Yeah,
Um,
straight up.
So
Look, I've done
It's
fusion
beautiful.
events since like 2005,
I
roughly,
know,
maybe a
dude.
little bit before that. And like,
We're slow down
there's,
here.
you don't have to sell it to me. Like, there's an
I-
opportunity there. If you're not doing it or no one's
Well,
doing it in
this-
your area,
no
like,
one.
you should be doing it because, like,
This is what
I mean, it's the staple.
we just so today was the first day I was onboarding our new operations manager that we just brought on, and she's awesome. So I'm like, super excited for that, to help with like onboarding training and stuff like that. But like one of the things I was talking to her about was like, have you learned because she's got a little background in the wedding industry. I'm like, you were about like the trends of like the New York, New Jersey shit, and how it takes like 10 years to finally fucking make its way down here. And then because I was talking like, like the new Cold Sparks and everything. He's like, yeah, those new Cold Sparks that just came out in like the last year. I'm like, no, those have been out for
Jesus.
like a decade. Like the guys in New Jersey have been doing that since like 2010 or whatever, when it first hit the market.
Since the olden days.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
that's old
Man,
news. Old news to them. So like, I was like, what you need to do and what I've been doing is I study what they're doing and we implement that before anybody else does, to stay ahead of the curve in the luxury market. And DJ Fusion is like, we're well overdue for it. I wish we would have done it 2 years ago, but excited to finally.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways that you can twist it in, and you get different elements, and then you come up with the right team, the core team. Then you can flip that, and you flip it into like synergy savings almost, right? Like, because you guys do a lot of like cocktail hour experiences, a lot of ceremony experiences. When you have like I'm doing a wedding on Friday, and like we're gonna do DJ based services for like the prelude, all that stuff, and like right before the bride walks in, like clouds are gonna come out, and then like I have a single saxophone player that's gonna play "You Are So Beautiful," and he's gonna basically like come in, play the song, and then she's gonna walk in behind him
Damn.
and like walk down the aisle. Like,
I saw that I
it's
saw like
crazy.
another
It's
wedding
like-
do that on Instagram or something, where they like blew the cloud machine down the aisle or whatever as
Yeah.
the bride walked outside too. Crazy enough. But
Things will start
Yeah.
moving faster now that TikTok, Pinterest has taken over.
that's true. It should merge
now,
the gap.
Well,
a little
now
better.
that the information is spreading quicker, now it's coming down here. You know what I mean?
I also
see
kinda-
these videos of his gigs, and they're like, "Why can't y'all fucking do that?"
I kind of wonder though.
Fuck you.
I kind of wonder though with the that sort of landscape where the trends normally start the New York, New Jersey area up there. They trickle over to California on occasion, maybe down to Miami, but they normally like the central part of America. It takes like 5 years plus before they get there. And I wonder if that has to do with the concentration of wealth to some degree.
Yeah, I don't know. I look at like Raleigh, Charlotte. I look at like some of the North Carolina cities,
True.
and they are some of the most explosive markets in the
Yeah.
entire country in growth. Like,
That is true.
I was just in Utah last week with my son wrestling, and we were in Salt Lake, but we were like outside of Salt Lake in this place called Draper, which is like where they have like the amount of construction going on in that market. I mean, like, it's insane. Like, Jersey's populated. Like, you can go every mile, there's like a venue, right?
Right.
Like, but like when you have these like surging markets, I look at it as opportunity because
Yeah.
people are moving there from all over the place. You know what I'm saying? Like Scottsdale, like there's Kansas City is another one I just learned about, like just because I'm always like trying to like figure out like what's next, where's next, right? Like there's a lot of markets that are just like exploding. Like I think you guys,
our market
for
is
anyone that
exploding.
says like, oh, that you can't do that, that's only like a Jersey thing, you can't do it down here. Like
no.
my response to that is like, that's an opportunity for someone to freaking
do
have
it,
some balls
to
and go
actually
for
do it.
Yeah,
And yeah, I mean,
100%.
My favorite question currently right now to ask people. So like I've started doing some coaching calls with some other DJ owners and stuff like that. My favorite question to ask them is, when was the last time you raised your price? And it is shocking how many of them are like 2020, like it's been like 4 years, or 2 years, 3 years since you last raised your price. And I'm like, that's the easiest change you can make. Raise your price 10% every year, if not more. And
Yeah, I think it goes to like the way like I like to do it is like okay, so like I'll come up with a number. I'll be like, all right, I'm gonna do 60 events, right? And like
yeah,
for me, like events kind of can span a big there's like a wide net, right? Of like what things cost, right? So whatever. I get my 60 events, and then I'm like, okay, well, like I have some bandwidth, I have some open weekends, I have some time that maybe there's a cool opportunity. Like when I hit my number, anything above that, like I increase like if I'm gonna now be inconvenienced almost, right? Like
double that
Yep.
price.
that's
Right,
why we
right.
do like local, we do regional, we do destination pricing, which is very different, right? Like people don't think about things that way. They're like, oh, well, you're gonna go to Mexico for this wedding. Like, why would you charge more? And I'm like, oh, I charge more because like I could work 10 minutes from my house Friday, Saturday, Sunday and make 3 times as much money and sleep in my own bed, then go to like somewhere else and like have to deal with flights and stress and dealing with people that are incompetent or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And like there's a lot more that goes into it. And like just the pretty pictures for Instagram are only part of the equation, right?
Yep.
Like you need like everything else, right? So I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of ways you can look at anything here, you know, and I just feel like, man, if you're gonna raise your price, like first off, look at how much like things cost in comparison to 2 years ago. Like it costs a ton. It's like, what did I saw something that was like, if you were making $500 as like a whatever, like 2 years, it's almost 100. You have to make $150 more for it to equal the same.
Yep.
You know, so like things haven't gone up that much, right? Like everything's gone up except like our part of it. Like gas is more money, maintenance is more money, like equipment's
Everything.
more money if you can get it, right? Like everything, right?
It is
So, like, you gotta
frustrating
figure
when,
that into
when like
it.
a client will indicate that, you know, your cost is more than it was or some shit like that. And it's like, well, I'm sorry, but you price shop for a year. Our prices went up because we're not the same company we were when you originally found us. And also, fuck you. And I don't like, not obviously I never say that, but also, what about me? I need to pay my bill. What are you talking about? Like, that's literally fair. Like, you should have purchased a year ago.
I feel like as a business owner, you need to get to the point of smiling when you get that email that says, we found a cheaper option. We went with a different person because they're a better price.
Honestly,
we found a more affordable option.
That's why I had to delegate that part is because I'm too blunt and I say what I'm thinking.
Oh, God.
I'm really like that. And it would show through the company. And so I had to delegate. That's one thing I'm not allowed to do anymore is that.
I feel like real growth as a business owner is like, and I think a performer is knowing when and how to say no, right? Right? Like, this doesn't make sense. Like, it doesn't make sense for me. It doesn't make sense for my business. It doesn't make sense for my people. Like, the answer is no. I'm not interested in doing it. Like, it's totally fine to say I'm not available, even if you are. You know, like,
right, yeah,
because it doesn't make sense for
you don't
what
have
you
to
want
be
to
rude.
do, right?
I'm just not available. Right.
Yeah, don't be a dick, but like, if something doesn't fall in line with like where you want to go or the things that you want to do, like,
right,
the answer should be no. Like, don't just take it to take it, because you're gonna shut the door on like an opportunity that could be much better for you that just hasn't come in yet. You know, I feel like things take a little bit. I just pulled up the I pulled up the YouTube. I see the chat. Yeah, like, so, and just to tell TJ like what I talk about, like with like local, regional, and even destination pricing, is like we apply a multiplier to that. So like local events are one fee. Regional is like driving within 3 hours. That's 1.5 plus travel, right? So like fee times 1.5%. Like, so your fee times 1.5 plus travel, right? Because you're gonna have to be compensated for the gas, the time, the energy, all the whatever to get there. The destination is 2.5. Like, we use 2.5 variable as the so I charge $5,000 for me to do a destination wedding. It's 12.5. Like, that's just talent fee. That's not production. It's not transportation.
Travel.
It's not transfers. It's not food. It's not drinks. It's nothing. It's just the talent fee. And like, you have to think about this stuff, because like, this is like, it's business 101. And like, I don't know. I feel like so many people miss that part of like this industry. It's crazy.
And you have a great, I think 2 videos on that topic out on your channel too. So if anybody wants further info on it, we've actually implemented it after. But when you first put that out, I was like, this makes so much sense. And I literally sent it to our FSL. I was like, put this into play. We need to like put this on the thing. And it's been wonderful because, you know, as soon as the event cracks, I think 4 hours of travel, and we're charging significantly more to go do it. And people are like cool with it. As soon as you explain it to them, like you were talking about, they're like, it makes sense. But when they want you, they want you. So, but
yeah, I feel like that's the difference, right? Like, you can either take something and like hurt yourself so you don't make the money you need to survive, or, you know, like, you say no and you work somewhere that's a lot closer, you know, on that day. Or maybe you have the day off and you enjoy yourself at night going to support other DJs or do something else, you know.
Exactly.
Like, there's so much.
Exactly. Well,
I was taking an Instagram picture, but it was shitty, so I won't post it, so don't worry.
You sound like such a girly girl. You're like, don't worry, I'm not going to post it.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys, man. I really do. I saw the clip come across from the DJ Live thing, and I was like, man, I haven't talked to you all.
I was gonna say, it's been a
while.
second
I was
too.
like, I gotta.
Right.
Eric, we were talking every day for a bit. I mean, like, multiple times a day, texting, going crazy, making some things happen, you know, and then life moved on. And same with Rick too. Like, we were going through times, we were talking a lot, like just going back and forth, and, you know, like, life happens for everybody.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? So I saw that. I was like, man, I gotta get up with these guys, because it's been a minute, you know, and
this has been a super thorough and awesome podcast, honestly. Like, thinking back through all the shit we talked about.
Oh yeah,
I feel like this is
just constantly good stuff.
Sometimes you're like, yeah, that was a good one, and this was a good one. You know, well, I mean, shit. I mean, we're technically done. Is there anything we want to add in before we?
Yeah, you guys got anything else for me, real quick? We'll pump it out, fire it out. If not, I'm cool with it, man. And
I was gonna say,
watching,
as for new things on the horizon, all I'm trying to do is accept I need to hire people, because I literally hired a person full time, and I do not know what his job is. I'll figure that part out, but we got to hire someone first.
He literally crushed me when he said, he's like, yeah, you know, I hired a whole nother full-time person, and I just told him we'll figure it out. I'm like, it like breaks every rule of like my business mindset of like, you establish a role, the responsibilities, then you start looking for the exact talent you want for that specific position.
To be fair, I just get lucky. The
You do.
whole thing is luck. The whole thing. Everyone's like, "Wow, you're such a smart." Nah, don't let me fool you. It's luck. I'm a cool dude. I think I'm funny and all that good shit, but it's luck. But we want to double our photo booth business. Like, yes, DJ shit, keep grinding, but I think that the quickest route to like a shitload more money is to focus on the photo booths for a while. So
I wouldn't.
that's on the
Don't
horizon.
understate yourself on your automation back end experience and stuff.
I do the shit. I mean, everyone. Okay, cool. But I'm just saying, like,
Don't understate that.
it looks crazier, and I seem smarter.
And you put in the work.
I seem drastically smarter than the reality of it.
Oh.
You
You put in the work, and that's the biggest part. If any business can be summed up, it's put in the work.
I'm also the king of hating on my own self. So
True.
It would
True.
make sense I
Very
would say
true.
some shit like that. Whatever. I don't have super a lot in the pipeline, but things are happening.
Jani, anything else you want to add?
Yeah, I don't know. I think for me, like the focus this year is just being like as effective and as efficient as possible. Like I love those words together.
Yeah.
So like I'm exploring new tools. That's all I'm gonna say. New tools, new ways of doing things, and more to come should you decide to follow and support all of our worlds in the future, because I feel like there'll be stuff to drip out in the future.
It's time to do the tops of your hands. I didn't even realize they weren't done yet. You got so close. You're right there.
I'm like right up. Yeah, I'm like right to literally to the edge. I have like everything, but I didn't do my hands. I feel like I still can pull it off with a watch where you can't really.
It's sick though. It's sick. You put on a suit. You got a tattoo. Woo, girl. Sick.
I've been like wanting to go. I went and I got both arms all redone, re-outlined, both arms, and I had them do all white, which you can't see because I
know what you're talking about.
I don't know how to put sunscreen on, but like they put highlights everywhere. I put in like, I don't know, maybe like 16 or 18 hours doing that with like someone who was like really fast, and it still took forever, but I'm going to do something massive on my leg, and I just haven't found the right thing.
Just do a fucking goat eating Jesus with a whatever the hell you got.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw my newest one. I went to Germany, and I got.
I saw you getting it. I didn't see what it was though. I didn't see the final.
Honestly, it's up for interpretation what it actually is, because it's not. It's just kind of like a death smorgasbord on my back. But two artists at the same time, 2 days in a row. You know, it was like 20 hours straight through with two artists on my back. I was about to throw up, pass out, all that shit.
I was going to say double needled for 20 hours.
Yeah, I mean, I got my entire back done.
Jenna's like, I had one guy for 16 hours, and Eric's like, I had two guys for 20.
Well, but what I mean,
yeah.
Okay.
I can't sit for more than, I know my limit is 3 hours, bro. After 3 hours, I'm ready to fucking punch somebody in the face.
I guarantee you though, if you had two artists that are like worldwide fly to Germany and meet you, and it was either now or never, you'd figure it out.
You'd figure it out.
You'd figure out how to sit for as long as they told you, and that's where I was. It was like, well, I guess I can't tap out even if I want to. It's like it just wouldn't.
I have like all this like traditional, like it's like traditional, like heavy, like thick, like like real good like sailor
lines.
Jail tattoos, like I want like on my leg, I want something that's like more like
extravagant,
real,
a new age one.
Yeah, I want like realist, like I want something that's gonna like it's like popping off my skin, or
the day you're looking for
totally
artists.
Crazy,
show me a picture of what you want, and I'll tell you who will do it. I'll tell you the dude to hit up.
Have you seen that Instagram
now.
account? Have you seen that Instagram account where the guy just like literally says, his whole Instagram account is like, I'm going to show you the best freaking tattoo artists that exist in the world. And he's like, I'm going to send this to you because this dude, he's like, this person is from here. This is what they do. And he like describes it. And he's so passionate about like the artwork and like how the process, and he explores like, this person does all negative space, shadow, like whatever, you know, and it's like, not a single line. Everything is this. And like, and then he shows you it happening and you're like,
Right.
No way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm gonna find that
Oh,
Instagram
I'm a
account and
huge
send it to you.
fan.
'Cause
Definitely don't forget to send
Yeah.
me that because I want that.
I'll find it today. I will find it and send it. It's that good. We'll put it in the chat.
Well, fuck yeah, man. Rick, that's it. You got to do the exit. I tried to do the exit, and I sounded like an absolute.
You know what's hilarious though? You tried to do the exit on the one that failed miserably and never made it to the actual final.
All right, I'll do it again. All right, guys, you got to listen to us. Wait. First, Jason, if anyone were to ask you a question, where would they find you? How would you want that to be funneled? If someone wants to message you, ask a question.
If you need anything, hit me either up on Instagram at Jason Jani or here on YouTube. Just find my channel and post up on there somehow, some way.
Word. Well, thanks again for joining us. Fuck, this is so hard. I don't know how you fucking do it. Like, subscribe, and comment. This podcast is on Spotify and everywhere else. YouTube Live.
You're doing good.
We're not doing it next week. We're every other week right now. That's all. I'm sorry.
So this is
I can't fucking-
Jan and I kind of mentioned this earlier, but the actual talent of being able to just literally click record and start fucking talking to a camera like it's nothing
fuck.
is
Hard as fuck.
is a talent that if you have it, you have so. It's like benefiting me heavily for like our like home service and holiday lights business because like we're paying filmers to come in and make ads and stuff, and they're like, dude, how the fuck do you just like do that? Like you just jump on the camera and talk naturally.
Do it, right.
And like
RJ's
YouTube.
my film guy, and he does it all the time. He's like, bro, I don't even. You're in the middle of a conversation. You look at me, and you're like, you ready? Hit record, and you just start talking about like you're like you got just like poured it into a conversation, and then it's like you're done. The thing turns off, and you go right back to what you were doing, and like you didn't even like think about it, you know. And
Yeah, it's
I'm
just
like,
natural.
I don't know, it just happens.
It's a
I feel
talent.
Like
It's a talent.
It's a skill, you know.
It's a talent, man. But like Erik said, basically, we're on YouTube right now. We're live. You're on the video side of things. So if you're listening to this podcast on any of the different sources, Spotify, Apple Podcast, all those different areas, you can watch the video side and see our pretty faces on YouTube. And if you're on the YouTube side and you want to listen to this car, Spotify podcast, all that, it's available on the thing. So follow us on all platforms. Follow Erik on Facebook because that's where he trolls people. Follow me on Instagram because I don't use Facebook. Follow Jani on Instagram because he doesn't use Facebook too, apparently, because we don't like Facebook. Anyways, see you guys in 2 weeks with another guest. Stay tuned on the Instagrams, all that for the announcement of who our next guest will be, and we will see you guys in 2 weeks. So peace out. Bye.